Hey everyone, it's Liz, and as promised, I'm doing my whip parade today. My husband decided to go skiing, and I said when he goes skiing, I'm going to do a whip parade. So this is it. Get a drink, get something get to stitch on, get a snack maybe. Um, I have, by my counting, 48 whips that just cross stitch whips. So that's what we're gonna go through. All right. These are coming in no particular order because I didn't have them in any particular order. So we'll just get going through them. The first one I'm going to go through is called Wild Call in Winter. This is a kit from Creative Accents. Sorry, I've got a little bit of glare going this morning. I started this a very long time ago. Um, and this is where I'm at. I'm keeping it in the hoop. Um, I don't remember why. I think it's actually because I taped the sides to the hoop because it didn't want to stay. It wasn't pulling taut. So I think there's some tape under here actually. But this is where I am. Honestly, I'm really far along on this and I don't know why I haven't finished it. So this is one of those ones that I need to get back into my rotation. That is on a gray Ada. I think it's a 14 count. It might be a 16 count. This is one of those kits that doesn't give you all the information on the front. 16 count, they call it Dove Gray Ada. Looks kind of blue. Next up is my one HAED that is in progress. Woo, my camera didn't want to focus there. This is her. This is Snow Princess. Whew, took me a second. I apologize. I can't remember who the designer is, but this is still available on the Heaven and Earth Designs website. Um, This is the piece that taught me that you don't want this much background that is all blue with little stars in it. This is Confetti Hell. I'm doing this on a 25 count Lugana. And yeah, I absolutely hate it. But one day I'm going to finish her, even though I hate it, because I do love the picture. I love there's a polar bear. Maybe I'll get myself together and put pictures in of finished designs for the things I don't have pictures for you. But yeah, that one is it's gonna be a slog to finish, I think. So next up, Teresa Wensler, Mermaid. This is the kit from the 90s. This is actually the original kit. I did purchase it. Well, another person purchased it in the 90s. She wanted me to teach her how to cross stitch and bought this kit. And I said, whoa, we're not going to start on that. That's a little difficult. Taught her to cross stitch and she decided she didn't like it. So she gave me this kit. This is a 28 count even weave. And I'm using everything in the kit. These old kits are absolutely terrible. Whoever cut the floss has never done cross stitching in their life. The floss came in all different lengths. It's a nightmare trying to figure out with all of anyone who knows Teresa Wensler, um, there is so much blending going on, right? And so with all different lengths of fabric, it's just insane. And they weren't even, there's like 3 or 4 different lengths. So it wasn't even like you could match them up and cut them to a size that you liked. It just did not work. So here she is. I was just working on her the other day. She is so close to done. I've just got that little bit in the bottom corner, the bottom border, finishing up her skin. It looks so funny. It's so glowing white where her skin is supposed to be. And then the back stitching. So I'm hoping to finish her for next year. We'll see how that goes. There's going to be a lot of crinkling, so sorry about that. Um, I store everything in gallon-sized Ziploc bags. Um, Honestly, they're really easy to just reuse over and over again. And they're a lot less expensive than all the handmade bags. So that's what I use. The next one is also a Teresa Wensler. This is a Janlin kit, which is really interesting because it says designed by Just Cross Stitch, but we all know this is Theresa Wensler. This is Rapunzel. Um, Back in the old days, they didn't really credit the designers all that much, so they didn't do a great job of it. So this is a kit. It's made in 1993. It's got 14 count Ada in the kit, so I got rid of that. I can't remember what I did with that. It's not in here, but got rid of that and got myself some nice, I think this is a Lugana. So here's what I've got so far. I am doing the back stitching as I go on this. It really helps. This is the first piece where I've started doing the back stitching as I go. Someone told me I should try that with the Theresa Wenslers, and they were a genius because it really helps. And you can see in the rocks and in the little bit of woodwork, the frame on that window, you can see that I've got that back stitching done. And it really makes a difference and helps you kind of see what you're doing. And then at the end, it's not going to be like crazy amount of back stitch going on. So other than changing out the fabric, I am using all of the original materials, the original threads. I actually bought this off of Stash Unload, and the person had sorted the threads already. It was really weird though, because they actually included the yarn that is used to mark the different bundles. If you've ever done one of these where you have to sort it yourself, it'll say like bundle number 1 with red yarn. And they actually put the red yarn on the floss cards too. So that was interesting. All right, next up is Victorian Charm. This is one a lot of people know. This is a Dimensions kit. Um, Very popular. On this one, I am using everything in the kit. This was on a Navy Ada 18 count, so it is 18 count, is my jam. So I do like that. I don't mind working on the dark fabric at all. Oh, it's so long. Mostly done. Really just back stitching and all of the kind of stars that are up at the top are what's missing. So working on that, you can see I've been working through the back stitching. The bottom part of the house is done. And this is a really good example of why back stitching is important. As much as we all hate it at times, it makes a huge difference on this piece in particular. So still working along on that one. And I just realized that could actually be, this piece could take both WIP Go calls for December, because my WIP Go calls are something that needs backstitch and dimensions, but that sounds too easy. All right, next up is another dimensions. These are a pain sometimes to get out of the bag because of the way they do their front piece. It's like a fake envelope. It gets in the way. Okay, this is Cabin Fever. Another one that's very popular. I know a lot of people have been doing this one. This is a kit that I purchased quite a while back. I'm using everything from the kit, and that's usually true. I don't really swap stuff out very much. I think this is an 18 count Ada. It's a little bit of a cream color. Woo, I'm starting to have an avalanche. You guys won't believe how much stuff. So here's where I am with that one. Like all Dimensions Gold Collection kits, this just has a ton of like, 4 threads, 5 threads, 6 threads. So it gives you that depth, but it is kind of a pain at times to do because you do have to fight with all those threads. 18 count fabric doesn't really like having 6 threads put through it and 12 when you're doing the work. So it can be a little bit hard. This one's going to be a pain to put away. I feel like half this video is going to be me pulling stuff out and putting them away. Oh, next up, well, this one should be familiar to everyone who watches my channel. It's my good friends, Pirates of the Caribbean. This is a mod cross stitch design, and it's on 18 count Ada, which is my favorite. Um, I've only started working this maybe 6 months ago, something like that. And I've got a good 10% of this pattern completed, so that's pretty cool. Um, this is the design that I found Pattern Keeper on, and let me tell you, it has changed my world. Next up, another gold collection, Aurora Cabin, another very popular one. This is Aurora Cabin. This is another Dimensions Gold collection, and another one that can be really difficult. It does have, again, a lot of those thick 4 ply, 5 ply, 6 ply. Um, 2 of this and 3 of that, a lot of half cross stitches in the sky. This is where I'm at. I was working on this one last week. But again, it's just one of those ones that I don't know. You get into it and just kind of go, this is a lot of work. I'm becoming a lazy stitcher, I think. So I've been working on that one for a couple years, I think. Um, yeah. Next up, we have Bucilla Curiosity. This is another super old one that I purchased a long time ago when it was brand new, back in 1996. This one I did make a start on all those years ago, and I didn't finish it. This is how far I got on the original Ada that came in the kit. It was 14 count. It just looks really big and pixelated. So I got myself a nice piece of 18 count Ada that is a little bit more of a beige color. And this is where I am now. So you can see, I mean, this is just a huge striking difference. I just think it looks so much better. The coverage is so much nicer on the 18 count. I'm still using everything from the kit, so all of the threads from the kit. I still have this much left after basically doing the whole thing once practically. So I think I'll have no problem getting through it, but also converting these to DMC is not hard. So if I have to get some threads to finish it up, it won't be a problem. Next, we have Anne Boleyn from Sheena Rogers. This is the design. It's meant to be a small little pillow. This is the actual size, and this is where I am so far. I have another one of these that I finished that is Henry VIII, so they're companions that will go together. This is on a white Ada. It's 14 count. It's what came in the kit, and I'm fine with it. I really don't seek out 14 count for anything. It's just a little too big for me, but for this pillow, I thought, it's fine. And she's really pretty. I do enjoy that one a lot. Okay, next up is the Deadly Aquarium. So I did start this stitch along with everyone else, and I did well for a while, but then I got distracted, as we all do. So here's where I'm at. Actually, not horrible, and I'm still working on it here and there. So I got a good amount done. This is 32 count seafoam linen from Weeks Dye Works. And see, I actually know what the fabric is. You should all be proud. I never ever know what the fabric is, but I left the sticker on the bag so that we can know what it was. So I do have plans to finish that up. I just don't care when. I really don't care about stitch alongs. I don't care about keeping up with everybody. It's fun, but it doesn't matter. The next one, this is one of my little boat projects. This is called the Maritime. Excuse me. Oh my goodness, excuse me. So this is the Maritime. It is a Dimensions crown and cross stitch piece. And I was using this on my boat. So I have a thing where I take these little projects out on my boat in the summer so that I have something to work on when we're just sitting around, which is a lot. We do a lot of just hanging out. So here is where I'm at. I'm actually almost finished with this one. I just need to finish the water down here. And then there's a bunch of back stitching to do on this. So this guy is almost done. Maybe this season I'll take it back out and I'll get it done. This is on a 14 count Aida. It's ivory in color. And I'm using everything from the kit. All right, this next one is a big one. This is Santa's Wildlife Tree Skirt. This is a Dimensions Gold collection. So I actually made this stocking, the companion stocking for my husband. It's hanging downstairs right now. And we saw this tree skirt and he said that would be, cool to have for our Christmas tree. So I purchased it many years ago. But I had to tell you, there's some things. This is on a white 11 count Aida, 11 count. So this is done with 3 strands since it is on 11 count. I'm sorry, this is huge. So they give you this piece of Aida is meant to be the entire tree skirt. Look at how huge this is. It looks like I'm doing a heaven and earth design on 11 count. But I am not going to do that. Whenever I finish this, I'm going to cut out the design and then put that into a tree skirt because I really don't want an entire white tree skirt. I feel like that's a disaster waiting to happen. I have a cat who is, enamored by the Christmas tree, so I don't think we're going to do that. But here it is. It's so thick I can't see. I hope you can see it. There we go. So this is what I have done so far. Again, it's 11 count. It is huge, 3-ply, but it is cute. They do such a good job with the animals. I'm gonna set this aside because it's gonna take me forever to put it back in that bag and get it all folded up again. So really love that one, but it is a pain to work on. And trying to fold that up and work on it with a hoop is crazy. So it has to be cold out so that I can just like have it as a blanket while I'm working. Ooh, sorry, this one's loud. All right, next up. Woo, things went flying. Okay, this is a John Clayton, Big Ben, by Heritage Stitchcraft. This did come as just a chart, so I had to kit this one up myself. I am using, I think this is a 16 count Aida, which is probably what was called for. And I've only got a teeny tiny bit done, just a little bit of sky. This is a Mania start. I did Mania quite a few years back. I am never going to do that again. Um, Let me grab what I dropped. So for me, Mania was too much. Changing projects every day and just working on one project and new starts, which I feel like new starts take a little time. They take a little thought. Where do I want to start? How am I going to do this? So I'm never going to do Mania again because it just was too, like I'm ADHD enough. I don't really need help with that. So yeah. So that I started it. I've never touched it again, to be honest. Just sitting there. All right, next up is Black Swan Designs, Kimberly. She is the guardian of the Enchanted Forest. I love this one. I bought this back in 90 something when it was new. Does this have a copyright on it? Doesn't look like it. Oh, this is one of those old school 96 old school charts that is, you know, the big fold outs, kind of like the Mirabilias, except this is on a heavy card. This is a pain to work with. So yeah, you have to really love Black Swan to do these ones. I do have her companion piece, Merrick, the Wizard of the Sea, completed. So here she is. She's also close to finished. I just have to finish the tree, which extends up over her head. And then obviously her one wing is not completed yet. Once those are done, it's just some beading, I think there's some more Krennic that I haven't done yet in there. So it's going to be very sparkly and a lot of beads, but not over the top. It's not Mirabilia level of beading or Krennic, so it's not too bad. Yeah, I really love Black Swan designs back in the 90s. I had everything. I have a bunch of patterns of Karen's that I printed off, and I still have the printouts from the 90s because she would offer things for free on her website. So lots of cute things from there. This next one is called Charmed Vineyard. This is Hinzite, I think is how it's pronounced. I got this chart many years ago. I actually worked on it this year for a little bit. And here's where I'm at. Not very far. That's okay. This is on a linen. I am not sure what count this is. Maybe a 32 count linen. Let me see what this calls for, because I probably got what it calls for. This says 28 count Lugana, but those don't look like 14 count stitches, so I think I went a little smaller. All right, you would not believe the pile that's still sitting here. Oh my gosh, it's going to be my longest video ever. All right, next up is my chatelaine. I am working on the Irish mandala. In case you couldn't tell, I do have Irish heritage. So I love this one. I think it's beautiful. I am doing this on a gray, I think this is a Belfast. I do actually have the information, but I didn't bring the bag with me that has that. So here's where I am so far. It's so small, but it's so much stitching. And that inner part is going to be completely filled in with beads. I am fighting the urge to do the beads now because there are so many beads and they're so exciting and I just want to get into them. But we're not going to do that. We're going to wait because I know that's going to make doing further parts impossible. So I would like to work on Q snaps. So we're not going to mess ourselves up that way. Next up is, I think this is Welcome to Lothlorien or Visit Lothlorien. Country Magic Cross Stitch. Just got this one recently. It just hit me as so pretty. I love this pattern. It's about halfway finished. Um, Maybe I'll insert a picture for you. Let's see how much editing I want to do later. But this one I started just this year and I'm already about halfway done. So kind of excited about that. All right, the last one that I have in this particular pile is my stained glass mermaid. This is by Fox and Teacup Designs. I've been getting some work done up in that upper part. It's really starting to fill in now, so I'm excited about that. This is on an 18 count Ada. It's a picture this plus, and I cannot remember the color for anything, but it is a very dark gray. And I really liked putting it on the dark gray instead of a white. I feel like when it finally gets framed, that dark gray is going to look nice. All right, I'm going to move some things, make a new pile up here. Oh, things are open and they're flying. Oh my goodness. Okay. Next up is Birds of Paradise. Oh, this is such an old chart that it's falling apart. I have to be very careful with it. This is a Design Works. It came as a kit. I have a parrot, an African gray parrot, which you may be able to hear every once in a while in the background. He does love to make noise when I'm talking. This is, there he goes, 14 count Aida. It's white Aida. I am using all of the things that came in the kits. The stitching is done. I'm just doing the back stitching. And again, this is another one where the back stitching really makes it show. If you look at the bottom area, all of those leaves are very undefined, but at the top, they are very defined. So beautiful one, a ton of back stitching. This whole thing is outlined in black. At least it's just one color. It's simple, but it's a lot. So that one I'm still working on back stitching forever. For the rest of my life, I will be back stitching that one. Okay, now we have Jeanette Douglas Designs East Coast Sampler. I found this in a store. I think I found this when I was in Edmonton. And there's just something that hit me with the ships and the autumn tree at the top and grapes, and I just really loved it. So this was another Mania start. And this came with just the specialty threads. There are a couple of, I think there's a couple of little charms in here and the pattern. As usual, I have no idea what this fabric is, guys. Sorry. But here's where I'm at. Colors aren't showing up really great. This is on a linen over two. Some of the threads are Weeks Dye Works, Simply Shaker, and Gloriana Silks. So this does have some beautiful threads with it. It has some really nice colors, and some of them are variegated colors. So it's a fun one to work on. Next, I have from the Sweetheart Tree, Whispers in the Pines. So this is what it's going to look like. If my camera will focus, kind of. I found this one a long time ago at a cross stitch expo that I went to. It's very pretty. It's not showing you the colors very well. There's actually not that many colors in it. It's just several greens and a cream, and then the dark brown for the pine cones. This has a ton of beads, which I'm doing as I go. And then that pine cone is a charm. So the colors in this are all, if I can get this to open, DMC 500, 502, 898, and 3033. That's it. That's all it is. So it's just really nice black work kind of design. It's really green work, but black work of pine cones and fir boughs. And yeah, I really love this one. I love them all. Let's be real. I wouldn't have them if I didn't love them, or I would have thrown them out by now. Okay, next up is my third Teresa Wensler. This is Peacock Tapestry. I know a lot of people are familiar with this. This seems to be very popular right now. I started it last year or the year before, pretty recently. This is on a 25 count even weave. I am using the floss or the fabric and the floss from the kit. And here's where I am. This one I have not been doing back stitching as I go, but then I started coming in and doing the back stitching on the tree, and it is really helping me to see the different leaves. You can see when you look over towards the right side of it, it's kind of muddy. It's hard to tell what you're looking at. So that's why I went in and started doing that. And it's definitely helping. But I have a long way to go on this one. It's going to be a while. All right, here's my whip of shame. I did not, I was thinking about throwing this one in at the beginning, just to start it off with a bang, but I decided not to. So let me see if I can get to where you can see the actual finished picture. This is a design out of a New Stitches. Is it New Stitches? New Stitches. Mary Hickmott is the designer. And this is what it's going to look like. Obviously, the words will be different. This is my wedding sampler. We just celebrated our 20th anniversary. I was married in 2004. So this is a long project. I finished all the stitching on my honeymoon, but it's the black work. This black work, or gold work, if you want to be more apt, goes all through it. So I have done a lot of it. I've basically got one whole side done. So I'm going to continue working through this, and one day we will have a wedding sampler. Hopefully we will still be alive, both of us, at that point. But, you know, I'm just working it. I'm just continuing to work through this. I do sometimes bring this out, especially when WIP Go calls for something that just needs backstitching on my very big board. So it's amazing that that is that old, still looks good, still clean. I've kept it very nicely. All right, next up is the beginning of the Thomas Kincaid-a-thon. Here is Everett's Cottage. Anyone who's familiar with these Candemar Designs kits knows that first of all, you have to sort all your floss, which is a pain in the butt. Their color names mean nothing. They're insane. And it has a ton of French knots. I know a lot of people hate French knots. I actually don't mind them at all. So this is done with the cross stitching and the French knots. I'm just working on the back stitching. Whoever designed this one is a jerk. The back stitching is ridiculous. It's one of those ones, all the lines are the exact same thickness and color on the back stitching, and then it says stuff like for the shadowed bricks, use this color, and for the bricks in the sunlight, use this color. Can you see sunlight on this? Can you see shadow? Me neither. So this is one of those ones where it's just kind of do what you want, make it look nice. I just haven't had the brain power for it. So it's still waiting to be done. I was hoping to finish it this month. I don't know if it's going to happen. This month has been crazy. So it's just started. So hopefully you'll see a finish on that one before too long. All right, next up is Fateful Night by Jiffy. This is a teeny tiny little piece. Another boat piece, but I haven't gotten very far on it. I don't know why. There's just something about this one that is annoying to me. So here's where I am. Just a big block of black with a little bit of other stuff. Yeah. One of those, I work on it when I'm really bored on my boat. That's that's about it. It's only got like 10 colors or something or less in it, but well, for whatever reason, I just don't work on it. Oh, I just made a mess of beads down here. I feel so bumbling today. Please excuse me for that. I was at a really fun party last night. I'm actually amazed that I am not hungover in any fashion. Okay, next one is Mirabilia. This is the Lady of the Mist. I actually just recently started this one. This was my free space on WIPGO 13. I decided to do that as a new start this year. Next year, I actually have that space marked as hit something up and start it. And I've got a couple other new start spaces because I have a few things kitted up that I'd like to start this year. So, but sorry, putting away all the things that fell out of it. I've got a very small start going. Hardly anything. This is an 18 count Ada. Picture this plus. No idea what color it was. Sorry, but yeah, just a really small start on her so far. But I kind of didn't want to work on her too much because I was working on finishing up my Royal Holiday, which just got finished last month. So now she'll get a little more work on her. Okay, time to grab some more for the pile. Okay, continuing the Thomas Kincaid-a-thon. This is the Garden of Promise. This is a kit, again, Candemar Designs. Came with 14 count Ada in white. I am using all of the kit supplies. And this is where I am. Again, this is just thousands of French knots. This whole area is going to be filled in with French knots. This whole area is going to be mostly French knots. So, yeah, lots of work to do on this one still. But again, I don't mind the French knots. Although I have learned from these kits, some of them say to use 6-ply wrap once, and some of them say 3-ply wrap twice. Now, technically, that is the same thing, right? 6 times 1 and 3 times 2. However, 3 times 2 looks much nicer. It makes a much nicer French knot. So I'm going to finish this out in 6-ply wrap once, but I am never going to do that again because it makes them too bulky. Uh, Here's another one. This is the Forest Chapel. This is another Candemar Designs kit. There's actually a lady on Stash and Load that gets Candemar stuff all the time. Thomas Kincaid Candemar kits, and um, I stalk her. I actually even asked her, "Do you have any more of those?" And she said, "Sure." And she sent me a list of them. I am not using the kit fabric, and I can't remember why. I think it was just crap. So I'm using this instead. This is kind of a weird, almost light blue Ada, blue gray. It's not going to show up, I don't think, on the camera, but I've just got this teeny little bit done. Um, I'm concerned about this one because when I was sorting the colors really didn't seem to go with what they said it was. Trying to get over that feeling and just continue. But I haven't worked on this since 2 Thanksgivings ago. And I remember that because I was visiting someone and I was working on this at their house. It's weird the things you remember with cross stitch, isn't it? So hopefully I'll get back to that one and maybe trust a little bit that those colors are okay. Here's another Henry VIII Tudor type project. I told you guys I have a ton of Tudor stuff, wasn't kidding. So Henry VIII and all of his wives. This is DMC. It came as a kit. This is a weird kit. DMC has the way they do their charts is kind of annoying. They're really big. They're kind of, I guess if you like working on paper charts, they're all right, but I believe they're printed front and back, which if you like to highlight like I do, can be difficult. So here's where I am. I've actually got quite a bit done. Henry is basically done. 3 of the ladies are done. So just need to finish them up and do the rest of the thing around them and the back stitching. I have been doing the back stitching as I go on each person. Just because of I don't like the way this chart is. So kind of trying to get through with an area and be done with it. Okay, next up is Balloon Glow. Everybody's familiar with Balloon Glow, Gold Collection, Dimensions. It's a beautiful picture. I feel like they really did a good job of capturing the light on this one. So here's where I am. Kind of been all over the place on this one. Again, another dimensions kit that has a lot of the half cross stitches, and especially like up in here, half cross stitches that are like 3 strands of one color, 2 strands of another, or 5 strands of one color. So a little bit tough going when you're working on it. This is a 16 count. Am I making that up? No, 18 count ivory Ada. Everything from the kit is what I'm using, of course. Again, oh, this one, I have the picture, but I didn't have it with me. Let Freedom Ring. Ooh, sorry, that is really glary. But I bet a bunch of you are familiar with this pattern. It was really popular for a bit. Lila Studio. I am doing this on the called for classic homespun fabric by R&R. It is a 35 count, and I'm doing it over 2. So here's where I am. Have quite a bit of this done. Really, I need to finish along the bottom, and then all of the back stitching and the over 1. There's a lot of words in this one that are over 1. So this is not my type of thing very often. I am not a sampler person. I do not like the muted colors. This is really not generally my thing, except that I have a soft spot for Independence Hall, Philadelphia. My grandparents are from there and are actually buried there in Philadelphia. So anything to do with the founding fathers and Philadelphia, I'm kind of a big historian for that. So that's why I have that one. That is the only thing of that type you're going to see, because that is just not what I do. I like a lot more color, and I really don't like samplers. I hate doing alphabets over and over again. Here is the Lady and the Unicorn. La Dame à la Licorne is the French name for it. This is by Princess. This is a French kit that I purchased when I was in Paris. Here's where I am. It's on this beautiful red Ada. This is, I think, 18 counts. I don't believe that they, yep, 18 count. 18 count red Ada. It is one of those ones that feels kind of rough. So it is a little weird to work on, but I love it all the same. Huge, huge fan of the Lady and the Unicorn tapestries. I have seen them in Paris. If you ever get a chance to go, you should. They are just outstanding. And I have one of those kits finished already. And that is my second one. And I've got some that I want to start that are similar. Next up is this anchor kit, Eiffel Tower. I have a lot that are Paris. I love Paris. I've been there a few times. Here's where I'm on that. This is one of those ones that I just can't get settled into a rhythm for whatever reason. So I've done a bit of the tower, I've done a bit of the sky over here, and I've done a bit of the sky at the top. There's a lot of half cross stitches. This is another one where there's something about the charts that I don't like. This one is printed front and back. And they print the, like you can see this chart, this side is meant to be the back stitching, and the other side is meant to be the stitching. But because it's printed front and back, it's really hard to highlight. And if I'm using a paper chart, I like to highlight so I can see where I am. So just a little difficult. There's a lot of fractional stitches in these. Oh, goodness, I'll put this away later. Some of these, I just cannot get them back into their bags. They don't want to go. Okay. Next up. This is Perfect Place by Designworks. Oh, sorry, that is incredibly glary. I'll pull it out. There we go. I just like this kind of ocean scene. This is one that I got from Hobby Lobby a while back when it was on sale. Do love getting things off of the clearance. This is on 14 count Ada. I'm using everything out of the kit. Not a lot done. Not a lot done on this one. I don't know why. It's just one of those ones that for whatever reason I haven't been able to get myself to work on very much. I am a moody stitcher. I will tell you that. I am a very moody stitcher. Sometimes I just don't want to work on things. And I couldn't explain that to you. I got no clue. Okay, another Design Works, another Hobby Lobby find for cheap. This is Freedom. This is actually a Joan Elliott kit by Design Works. I have been using everything that came in the kit. 14 count Ada. Again, I hate 14 count Ada, but it came in the kit and this is a weird piece of fabric, but here's where I am. This is actually kind of a fun little stitch because it's got all of these little scenes in each letter. They're different scenes. And so it's been kind of fun because you can kind of have a little mini finish, you know, finish one letter at a time. So hopefully that one will get a little more work at some point. Okay, here's one of the things that I bought when I think I was just being insane. This is called Autumn in New England. It's a gold collection. Honestly, this picture, I think the colors drew me, but if you look at the picture, it's kind of bleh. It's, you know, some trees. It doesn't have very much definition. It's not a good one at all. But it's got 16 count Ada. I did make a start on it. This was a Mania start. I again question my sanity for the Mania thing. That's it. That's all I've done. Not much. This is another one it's very confetti. So one day, I don't know. One day I'll get into it, maybe. Kind of considering getting rid of that one. Okay, next up is another little boat project. This is Gold Collection Petite, uh, Bayside Cottage. It's so cute, and I love the colors in this one. Although this is one that I found kind of hard to work on out on my boat. It was just it's a little more intense. So here's where I am, not very far. This is on, I think, 18 counts. Yeah, 18 count ivory Ada. Working on the little cottage part. It's very cute. I will tell you that when I work out at the lake, I forget my highlighter constantly. So that kind of affects my ability. Okay, the next one I don't have a good picture of, but this is America. Oh my gosh, the designer's name just escaped me. I hope it's on here. Dean Farish. Dean Farish. Dean Farish put together a really cool stitch along 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I think. No, farther. Ugh. Yeah, I think it was longer. But so I started it. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. Of course, I didn't follow the stitch along, but I've got a good start going. My idea was to finish one block every month or every week, and that just didn't happen. But I have been completely finishing each block with any back stitching as I go. So, you know, that's kind of fun because then it is again like a little mini finish each time. But yeah, I didn't I didn't get very far. I'm in the eyes, but that's okay. It's a great one to stitch. I actually printed this out back in 2001. Because in 2001 she made this entire pattern available on her website for free. Which was very sweet of her. So I did download it at that time. It's actually, like you can see, it's pages and pages of printouts because you had to print out each state separately. The really sad thing is there was no list of materials. So basically, as I get to a new state, I find out what threads I'm missing. So that's kind of an adventure in stitching. All right, I am to my last pile, guys. Last pile. We're almost there. That's the needle point, so I'm kicking it out. No needle points today. Maybe we'll do that on another one. There's plenty of those too. The next Thomas Kincaid, Savannah Romance. Um, this is Canamar Designs. This is a kit, and I'm using everything from the kit with 14 count Ada. This one actually pisses me off though, because this picture is the painting. It is not representative of what the final stitch looks like. Now this is still a beautiful pattern, so don't get me wrong there, but it feels like false advertising to me, because here's what it actually looks like. So it's very pretty. It does have some blending filament in it, so it's a little sparkly in places, but it does not look anything like that picture. So it's all right though. I think that might be my last Thomas Kincaid for the moment. I do have maybe we'll go through all of my kits that are unstarted at some point. Okay. Ooh, we're getting into the dregs here. We're getting into some stuff that I haven't touched for a long time. Okay. This is one from Dimensions. It's called The Angels of Christmas Ornaments. I actually purchased this one. This was brand new back in 96. There is a bit of a story with this set. My mother really loved angels. She really had a thing for angels. And I was going to make these for her. Here's the only one that is actually finished. She's got some beads in here. Or no, they're not beads. They just look like beads. I think they're French knots. This is on plastic canvas. That one actually has some back stitching because it is finished. But the rest of these, I finished the stitching and I have not done the finishing touches, the back stitching, which I think it's just back stitching. I think it looks like there are a couple French knots in places, but I think I was just being like a drama queen and not finishing the back stitching. So I have all 6 completed. Unfortunately, my mother passed away. And at that point, I kind of lost my will to work on this. So I am going to finish it one day. I do want to finish it. I do want to put these on my tree at some point, but for now, they're just going to sit until I'm ready, and that's okay. All right. Next is the House of the Seven Gables. So this is a little kit that I picked up. Was it a kit? I think it was a kit. I picked this up when I was in Boston, in Salem quite a while ago. That's where the House of the Seven Gables is. Um, Honestly, it's boring as hell. It's just a few colors. I haven't gotten much done on this. This is on like a fiddler's cloth. It just feels kind of gross. Fiddler's cloth is a bit rough. And this pattern, it's just, I mean, you can tell there's not very many colors in here, so it's just huge blocks of color. So it's pretty kind of, but yeah, this one might be a UFO forever. I don't know. Maybe one day I'll get back to it. Oh, here's my other anchor kit. I have shown this one before, I believe, but it's been a while. This is another Paris scene. They just call this French city scene. But if you've ever been to Paris, this is something that you see quite a lot. Little cafes that open up to the street. And here's where I am with it. Got quite a bit done. This again has a ridiculous number of fractional stitches. Um, and there's a lot of color in here. It's maybe hard to tell, but like just looking at this red right here, that is probably 5 or 6 different symbols. And sometimes those fractional stitches kind of run along an edge. So it's not that it's hard. It's that what I always say is it takes a little more thought. So that's why I haven't worked on it too much lately, but it is beautiful piece and I do want to finish it. That was on a, what was this on? 14 count. It's blue Ada, uh, 16 count. Okay. This is my Siberian tiger from Busilla. Uh, this was actually a present that someone gave me a while back. Um, it's an interesting kit because it's not really in English. It has English, but you have to like get to it. It's in a couple different languages. And I am not seeing what this fabric is, but I'll find it. So here's where I am. It's not, I don't have much done. This might be upside down. But yeah, don't have much done on this. Um, I need to get this kit actually, or I need to get the chart copied somehow. Oh, I can't, because it's all colored. So I can't do a photocopy of this chart, which is why I haven't worked much on it because I can't really, I don't really want to use a highlighter on it. This one does not tell me what this, yeah, this one is not telling me what the fabric is. But it is a very light blue. I would say it's like a Belfast linen. It's very pretty. Um, but the way they've done this chart, it's got green and red and different colors in it on the symbols and the back stitching, so it makes it hard to photocopy. I need to basically take a picture of it so I can work on it on my computer. But yeah, it's weird that it doesn't tell you what their fabric is. Oh, there it is. 28 count glass blue even weave. Okay. Just had to search through all the languages. Oh, here's another interesting one. This is London Sky in 1945. It is all kind of monotone like that. Kind of light beiges and some pinks, and a little bit of brown. So that's all I have done. Yeah, this one. This is a really weird kit. This is one I got off a stash unload, so somebody else had started it. It came in this printed little, remember these little things? Gosh, I used to use one of those machines to put things together with these little plastic dealies, and what a pain they are. But this paper is shiny. It's a like shiny paper, so you can't highlight it. You can't really do anything with it. It's printed in multicolors. Like this is, it's got a lot of green print. So another one that's a nightmare to try to photocopy. Just a weird kit. This is a DMC kit. I don't know where this person got this from, but I saw the picture and I wanted it. So yeah, bizarre. And I think it came without the fabric, but I'm working on an Ada. Looks like an 18 count. Okay, we're almost there. I don't know how long this is, but this is definitely the longest thing I've ever done. Okay, Stitching Studio, Bear Fishing by Sue Coleman. I really love Sue Coleman's artwork. I found her when I was in Alaska, and her pieces just really speak to me. This one is just beautiful. I love this bear catching the salmon. I'm working this on a beige 18 count Ada. And that's what I have done so far. It's not much. Sue's designs are beautiful. They do have quite a bit of fractional stitches again, but the look of them is just gorgeous. I actually finished her salmon and her cougar. And the salmon is hanging up in my kitchen because it's all red and black on white. It's just striking. And my kitchen is actually painted red, so it looks so pretty there. All right, this is the last one. I find this hard to believe. I feel like I'm gonna find something somewhere and be like, oh wait, I forgot one. But here it is. This is Riolis. The name of this is Lavender Fields, I believe. Uh, this realist kit, these realist kits are kind of crazy. They're kind of half in Russian, half in English. There are some things you can have to figure out a little bit. This is on 14 count white Aida with anchor, but it's also got some wool. If you've never done a Riolis kit before, they are so interesting. They come with the colors on these cards. It's really easy to work off of. It's pre-sorted. And then this, you might be able to see, is a fuzzy. It's a very fuzzy wool, so more like needlepoint thread. Um, and it just gives a really interesting dimension to the picture when you're stitching it to have those different types of thread. So instead of doing a whole lot of, the dimensions, putting so many threads together, I hope he's not too loud. They do this woolen thread instead. So this is where I'm at. Trying to get it to lay flat. It's been obviously been folded for a little while. Here's where we are. So just a beautiful kind of country scene of lavender fields. A lot of this kit has half cross stitches. There are beads in this one. I haven't gotten to any of the beading yet. I'll do that at the end, I believe. So that is my last one. Was anyone keeping count? I wasn't. That is everything I have cross stitch wise on the go. It's a lot. I told you guys it was. I'm going to spend the rest of the day putting my craft room back together since I pulled everything out. I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe I'll put one together for my needlepoint projects, which I have a lot of in my crochet and knitting projects, but we'll see. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your favorite project is and what you'd like to see me work on. So I'm going to end here. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend and happy stitching.